Dr. Zixathala's four eyes blinked in perfect synchronization as she observed the small human specimen through the reinforced viewing chamber. The creature, barely reaching her secondary limbs in height, appeared unremarkable by galactic standards. Its pale skin showed no protective scales, no natural armor plating, not even basic photosynthetic capabilities. How such a fragile species had managed to colonize 17 star systems remained the greatest mystery in xenobiology. Fascinating, muttered her colleague, Dr. Quentar, adjusting his bioscanner. No redundant organs, single respiratory system, primitive circulatory network. They're essentially walking medical emergencies. The human child, designation Tommy 7841, pressed his small hands against the transparent aluminum barrier, leaving warm prints that fogged the surface. His brown eyes held an unsettling quality that made even veteran researchers uncomfortable, curiosity mixed with complete fearlessness. The Venom trials begin today, announced Research Director Vexenil through the intercom. We've selected the Krillian phase viper's toxin, lethal to 97.3% of known sentient species within 30 standard minutes. Zixthala's head tendrils twitched nervously. Sir, perhaps we should start with something less permanent. The humans did surrender this specimen voluntarily for scientific exchange, but the Galactic Council demands concrete data, Vexenil interrupted. Human resilience has disrupted 3 military campaigns and cost the Alliance billions in credits. We need to quantify their biological limitations once and for all. Tommy had been listening, his head tilted to one side. When the translation matrix activated, he looked directly at the camera and grinned, a peculiar human expression involving exposed teeth that somehow conveyed amusement rather than aggression. You gonna poke me with something? He asked cheerfully. My big sister says I'm like a cockroach, super hard to kill. The research team exchanged glances. The human's casual attitude toward mortal danger defied every psychological profile in their databases. Dr. Quentar activated the delivery mechanism. A hairline needle emerged from the chamber wall, barely visible. Subject will receive 0.3 milliliters of concentrated Krillian venom. Based on body mass calculations, this dosage should prove fatal within 18 minutes. Tommy watched the needle approach with scientific interest. Cool. Is that the purple stuff? My dad got bit by something purple on Kepler 442b. He said it made his arm all tingly and then he threw up for like 3 days straight. The needle pricked his arm. Tommy glanced at the tiny puncture wound and shrugged. That's it? When I got my vaccines last year, those needles were way bigger. The nurse said I was very brave. He sat cross-legged on the chamber floor and began humming an unfamiliar melody. Zixthala monitored the bio readings. Toxin is entering his bloodstream. Cellular breakdown should commence in 4 minutes, 17 seconds. 5 minutes passed. Tommy continued humming, occasionally pausing to examine his fingernails or count the lights on the ceiling. 10 minutes. The child had moved on to what appeared to be an intricate finger game, making complex patterns with his hands while reciting what the translation matrix identified as ancient human mathematical poetry. 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. 15 minutes. Dr. Quentar recalibrated his instruments twice, certain of malfunction. The readings showed the venom had indeed reached the child's vital organs, yet cellular necrosis remained absent. If anything, Tommy's energy levels seemed to be increasing. 22 minutes, Zixthala whispered. This is impossible. The toxin should have liquefied his internal structures by now. Tommy had progressed to jumping jacks, counting each one aloud with enthusiasm that echoed through the chamber. 67. 68. This is fun. When do we do the next test? At the 30-minute mark, Research Director Vexenil burst into the observation deck. Status report. Sir, Dr. Quentar's voice cracked. The human appears to have metabolized the venom completely. Not only is he unharmed, but his immune system seems to have adapted. It's producing antibodies at an unprecedented rate. Tommy was now doing what humans called cartwheels, his laughter filling the chamber with a sound none of the researchers had heard before, pure, uncontainable joy in the face of death. Can we try the green one next? He called out, slightly breathless from his acrobatics. Green is my favorite color. Vexenil's mandibles clicked in agitation. Deploy the Andromedian nerve toxin, triple dosage. Sir, that concentration would kill a Rigelian battle titan, Zixthala protested. The human asked for it, Vexneal replied grimly. The second injection produced similar results. Tommy described the sensation as sparkly and asked if it was supposed to make his teeth tingle. By the 40-minute mark, he was teaching the research team a human song about a creature called an itsy-bitsy spider that climbed up waterspouts. Dr. Quentar slumped in his chair. We've administered 17 different toxins, venoms that could sterilize entire continents. The human child has metabolized them all and appears to be thriving. Indeed, Tommy looked healthier than when they'd started. His cheeks were flushed with color, his eyes bright with vitality. He was currently attempting to count to 1,000 in what he claimed were alien numbers, though the mathematicians in the observation deck noted his base 10 system with growing unease. 998, 999, 1 million. Tommy threw his arms up triumphantly. Did I win? Do I get a prize? Research Director Vexneal stared at the child for a long moment. Open a channel to the Galactic Council, he ordered quietly. Inform them that Project Resilience is terminated. Human defensive capabilities have been grossly underestimated. As the research team began shutting down their equipment, Tommy pressed his face against the viewing window once more. Same time tomorrow? This was way more fun than math class. Dr. Zixthala watched the human child skip happily toward the extraction chamber, humming his simple melody. In her report, she would note that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology or their tactics. It was their absolutely terrifying optimism in the face of certain death. And the fact that certain death apparently didn't apply to them